Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Keenan, and I am the Conservation Manager for the Sauk County Land Resources and Environment Department. We recently merged with Parks, and we have new names, so that was 2 weeks ago. So thank you for inviting me to come and share a little bit about what we do in Sauk County and some of our successes and challenges that we work through. So I'm just going to kind of briefly go over some of the things that we work on in Sauk County. So one of the things that we do for groundwater protection is we have a well water testing program. And this has been a really successful program. It's a partnership between our department, UW Extension, UW Stevens Point, and also our townships. So we work with our townships directly to coordinate water sampling programs every year. We have been doing this since 2006. We've reached about 1,300 households, but there are definitely challenges with this program. It is voluntary. The cost is covered by the landowner, and we also have some townships who have never participated. So that means that's definitely gaps within the county where that opportunity is not available. So we know that there is more interest than there is actually participation because of the cost. And according to those tests that we have done, 16% of wells in Sauk County exceed the health standard for nitrates. We provide an outreach and education event. That's the main component of what we provide with UW Extension. Just as the gentleman had mentioned about UW Discovery Farms and the nitrogen use efficiency study, that is something that we started working on last year, and it's a 3-year project. It is a really great opportunity for farmers to do on-farm research and participate in learning a little bit more about the nitrogen use efficiency study, or nitrogen use efficiency on their farms. This project has some limitations as well. There's limited staff resources, so we help with the soil sampling. UW Discovery Farms also helps with that, and harvest collection. And then the data analysis is also somewhat complex. So without the support of UW Discovery Farms, it's likely that a farmer would not be able to do this on their own farm. So we're very fortunate to have that partnership with them and able to provide that to the farmers in our county. This year, we decided to seek out additional resources to look at groundwater in our county. Just because of everything that is going on around us, we secured $20,000 in ho-chunk funding to implement a countywide groundwater, or comprehensive groundwater trend project. So we're looking at a 5-year project. The ho-chunk funding that we were able to secure is a one-time funding opportunity, but we're really hopeful that we can add it into our budget and continue doing it for at least 5 years or possibly longer. We're hoping to fill in the gaps. Like I mentioned, this map shows kind of the location of where we've done our well water testing program with UW Extension, and there's definitely gaps, and we're not able to really say long-term trends, so we're hopeful that the funding will help us come to some conclusions there. And then surface water. So if we focus a little bit on surface water in Sauk County, we're probably very similar to a lot of other counties where we have surface water issues. So we have construction site erosion, we have eroding stream banks, gully erosion in our fields, a lot of cattle that access our streams without the proper access. And we also have streams that run through some of our barnyard areas. So this is definitely a challenge that we see in our county. And our county is focused a lot on surface water work. That's what we're most comfortable in, and it's It's something that we've done most of our work in. And a lot of the programs that we administer also focus on surface water. So it's not to anyone's surprise that that's the main focus of the work that we do in our county. So this is just a map that shows the impaired waters list for our county. This is the 2016 edition. So we have 21 rivers and streams and 5 lakes or sloughs, and the impairments are typically phosphorus or total suspended solids. Now, some of the successes that I love to talk about with Sauk County is our outreach and education that we provide. We're really visible on the landscape. As you can see, we have some signs that we put up kind of promoting some of the practices that we do. We were the first county in the state to have a rainfall simulator, which really shows rainfall events on different kinds of land use, and has been really instrumental in us being able to inform our producers on best management practices such as no-till and rotational grazing, cover crops, things like that. So that's been something that we are really proud of. We are unique in that we have an education coordinator in our office. So a lot of other counties don't have staff that can work exclusively on outreach and education, and that's something that we really pride ourselves in. We have a lot of networking opportunities. This stream bank project down here is a trout unlimited project in Bear Valley. So this is Bear Creek. It's one of the best trout streams in Sauk County. Another thing that we have in Sauk County that a lot of other counties do not have is we have some supplemental cost share opportunities that is tax levy funded. So our county board has been very supportive of us having additional county funds used to put in conservation practices, and we're really fortunate to have that. As some of the other presenters have said, we are on the ground boots. We're boots on the ground. We're trusted resources to our farmers and our landowners, and we provide that one-on-one technical assistance. So when you're asking how can we make nutrient management plans easier for someone to understand, we help with that. So we work one-on-one with farmers to help them write their own nutrient management plan, which is something they can do. They have a little bit more ownership in it, so they have better understanding of how to use the program and some of the components. I love hearing farmers say, "You just saved me X amount of money because the fertilizer seller might have told me this amount, and you're telling me this amount." So, we always try to work with them and say, if you're not certain about it, try it on one field and see if there's a difference. So I think that one-on-one relationship building is really important. We do a lot of pasture walks, we do a lot of field days. That networking opportunity with our farmers has been invaluable. I mean, it's been incredible. The farm specifically up in the top left-hand corner, that was about a 5-year relationship that had to develop before that farmer actually converted their entire farm to rotational grazing, about 260 acres. That is a landscape change right there. That's tons of soil saved, millions of gallons of water infiltrated, tons of phosphorus that's not going to be going into our streams. But it took about 5 years of relationship building for that to happen. So if I can get anything across today, I would say that the partnerships that we have with our producers is really valuable, and I don't think that water quality issues is something that we can cost share our way out of. I think that our staff time is really valuable, and that's how we are able to reach folks and really see change. And that's what our experience has been in Sauk County. We also have a couple of watershed groups that are forming in our county too, so that's been very exciting to see some of that happening as well. We do have one large-scale project that we are working on in Sauk County. It's in the Baraboo River watershed. The Baraboo River is the second greatest contributor of phosphorus to the Wisconsin River. It's not something we're proud of, but it's definitely something that we've realized is something we need to work on. So we have a partnership with 5 of our neighboring counties to do water projects within that watershed to help reduce phosphorus and agricultural runoff. And it's a $1 million project. We received that funding in 2015. The first grant is running out this year, and we got a second grant for $1 million to go on another 5 years. But we wouldn't have been able to accept that grant funding without our county board supporting a position to implement that program. So we were able to use county funding as a match to have a staff person implement that program. So some of the challenges that I just want to briefly go over, limited staff is definitely one of them. Our county is actually pretty fortunate in that we have 5 or 6 staff positions in our office, but even that's not enough. I can't imagine what it would be like in another county where they only have 2 or 3 staff. We're really tapped. So what that means is that we are not able to build strong relationships with everybody in our county. There's parts of the county I've not been to. There's farms I've never visited, and some of them that we've never visited, or we haven't visited in 20 years. So it's really hard for us to know if they're meeting performance standards, or if they could use our assistance. So farmland preservation has been a really great way for us to reach parts of our county, but then we don't get to other parts of the county. This also keeps us from working with other landowners. We'd love to work a lot more with folks that live on lakes, so lakeshore owners or urban residents, and we just are tapped for time and we just can't. So there's definitely that component too. And I would say that our groundwater expertise is lacking. Like I said, we're all very comfortable with surface water, and that's been our wheelhouse for years. This whole groundwater thing is new to us, and we don't really know. There's no resources out there for us, so I think that it's something that we could really use some help with. Limited cost share funding. We really could use more funding from the state or other resources. I mentioned the RCPP grant, the Baraboo River Watershed project that we were working on. There are other resources, other grants available for counties to apply for, but a lot of times they don't have the staff component that's attached to it, so you don't have the person that needs to help implement it. So that's the biggest challenge, I'd say. There's a number of grant opportunities out there, but we just don't have the staff to implement it. So there's grants that I don't apply for because we don't have staff to implement them. And then inadequate tax credits. So like the farmland preservation program is definitely a carrot, and it has been for a number of years. But what we've seen recently is that it's really not as attractive as it used to be. The tax credits are not enough to make it attractive for someone to want to participate. So I would urge you guys to consider the farmland preservation tax credit and potentially increasing that to make it a little bit more of an incentive for folks to participate. And then, another challenge that I see is limited knowledge and implementation. These NR 151 rules, or the state runoff rules that are talked about a lot, this best management practices, ag performance standards, there's all these different ways to describe them. There's still a lot of people don't know what they are. And I don't know if that's more of a responsibility for the counties or if it's a state responsibility, but I don't think a lot of folks still realize that those rules exist. And so I feel like there's a disconnect there. And then last, I'll finish up with just the nitrogen cycle is complex. I mean, we heard a little bit about it. It's so complex that it's really hard to, when you have all those different moving parts, to really know how much to put on when and where and what source. It's a challenge. But like I mentioned, I think that the nutrient management planning can work really well if people are following it and they understand it.